The big question in education today is, why are the arts important? Art teaches us to be creative. It allows us to create something new, something tangible and exciting. Art opens us up to a world of possibilities where reality fails to do so. Art challenges us to think outside of the box. It makes us unsatisfied with the normal in order to look for new possibilities. Art makes us problem solvers. Art connects us to the past. Throughout history, society has created art to capture a moment in time. Art gives us the ability to study who we were in order to see what we will become. Art allows us to explore different cultures, worldviews, and beliefs. It transcends geographical frameworks. Art is a profound connection among human beings all over the world. So why is art important? Simply, art is what makes us human.
Will cutting the arts improve academics? Today we're going to look at our view of arts integration, the description of arts integration, why the arts are important and why they are a controversial topic, and what art integration has done for the classroom. We will also look at success of the arts in schools.
And we will discuss how to integrate arts into schools.
We believe that arts should be integrated into the curriculum because they have great benefits for all students. If the funding is cut for art programs, teachers should integrate art, music, and dance into their own content and curriculum.
Here is the Kennedy Center's definition of arts integration. Overall, the definition states that art integration is an approach to teaching that allows students to understand the content through art form. It also connects art to other subjects and keeps the student engaged and allows them to be creative.
Arts integration is a very controversial topic. We thought of two ways that arts integration can be controversial. The first one is teaching the arts takes away from learning core subjects like math, reading, and writing. And the second one is that schools cannot afford to fund the arts program. Low-income students with high arts participation are more likely to graduate. According to Americans for the Arts, students with participation in arts integration are 5 times less likely to drop out, 4 times more likely to be recognized for academic achievement, and 2 times as likely to graduate from college as their peers who received little to no arts education. Arts have been an effective learning tool for low-income students. By this, we mean that low-income minority students receive help with language acquisition and they get to work with different learning styles. When it comes to affording to fund the arts program, in low-performing schools, arts are the first thing to go. Instead of letting go of arts, we should look at the benefits of art integration. Students that need art the most get art the least. Schools cut arts due to standardized testing preparation. Standardized testing causes teachers to teach more to the test rather than the content and including fun activities. Instead of elaborating more on the content, teachers are more concerned with their test scores. According to the Turnaround Arts program, schools receiving arts integration showed 23% improvement in math proficiency, 13% increase in reading proficiency, and a reduction up to 86% in disciplinary issues. Their statistics also showed an increase in attendance.
The arts can also be implemented into social studies. In this photo, you see a bulletin board that has been created by students, and it allows them to put their own twist on things. Drawing and creating pictures is a huge part of the arts, but the teacher could also sing a song about this particular subject or play music that is related. There are endless opportunities to integrate the arts. Why are the arts important? There are many different views from many different people about this topic. The video at the beginning of the presentation was an overview of why the arts are important. Overall, we have found art integration very beneficial through our research. According to Greenfeder and Browlett, The arts, especially dance and drama, allow students to practice speaking and listening skills in a fun and comfortable environment. The arts also allow students to step out of their comfort zones and work on social skills, which aid in their comprehension. Students who have integrated art curriculums can use their imaginations, and that increases the ability of mental stimulation, the events, characters, and suggestion of a story. This is a quote from Greenfader and Browlett. Arts-based lessons provide visual, auditory, and kinesthetic input that, when combined, powerfully signals the importance of the new information, helping it to become integrated with existing knowledge. Such learning helps students to organize, rehearse, recall material that they have encountered in other lessons and transfer it into long-term memory. The meaning behind the quote is art-based lessons allow all different learners to be engaged. When new knowledge is presented that way, it allows the new information to connect to the prior knowledge. Students have an easier time organizing, rehearsing, and recalling the material, and it helps them transfer the material into long-term memory. Another reason why the arts are important is they can involve parents in the community. The arts don't have to be just in the classroom. The arts are everywhere, and students deserve to see how art works in their homes and communities. Here is an example of how you as a teacher could integrate art into a math lesson. This particular teacher had her students create a piece of art using symmetry. Each student had the opportunity to express themselves, use creativity, and learn about symmetry in a fun and exciting way. What has art integration done for the classroom? Here's an example from Love 2013. Students were assigned to write about and analyze a piece of campus art. They had to discuss what lessons they could learn from the art. This project seems very simple, but it had great benefits. The students were able to evaluate their current realities, be creative, and use their emotions to connect to the art. The teacher also had benefits. They were able to see how their students viewed the world, and they were able to be more capable of appreciating the different perspectives of all the students. Art integration works for elementary all the way through high school, and it should be incorporated.
Success of the arts in schools has been a major key for discussion and has led to several studies on the benefits that it may have. We found this information important in regards to our views on the importance of the arts in the classroom. It allowed us to quantify data showing actual numbers for stance in support of the arts in the classroom. The first study that we'll be quantifying, the effects of art integration on long-term retention on academic content, written by Marielle Hardiman, Luke Rennie, and Julia Yarmolenska, appeared in Mind, Brain, and Education magazine in September of the 2014 edition. In this article, they did a study that catered to a 5th grade at a mostly 98.5% all African American school, in which they use a control group and an arts integrated group. In this grouping, they are able to see how effective using the arts was in long-term retention and whether or not it posed beneficial in the short term as well. Below are the statistics of that research. This study was done at an elementary school where 98.5% of the population is African American and 65.8% of the faculty are African American. A large majority of the school's teachers, sitting at 85.3% of the total population, were considered highly qualified teachers. The participants in this study are primarily African American, with 47% being female and 53% being male. Of these, 14% are identified as students with disabilities and have an IEP. In this study, 4 lessons were developed around ecology and astronomy for a 5th grade level, which spanned 3 weeks for each lesson. 2 of the lessons were your standard run-of-the-mill lesson that utilized no additional resources, while the other 2 lessons were developed specifically to cover subjects in relation to using the arts in the lesson. The different lessons are split into 2 groups, the control group and the arts integrated group, which is represented by AI in the slides. The lesson plan for the arts integrated lesson used 2/3 of the time utilizing arts, while the remaining 1/3 was used to teach a standard way, such as basic lectures. The assessment used was constructed to be as unbiased as possible, 25 multiple choice questions and a brief essay question. The assessment questions were designed to be difficult to avoid ceiling effects and make retention challenging. The procedure used started with giving the teachers only 10 hours of preparation time. The teachers were informed only that the study aimed to test the effectiveness of arts integration science curricula versus conventional curricula. Students were taught by 2 of 4 teachers, one teacher teaching astronomy and the other teacher teaching ecology. The groups were randomized, with one group being taught the conventional method and one group being taught using the AI method. All 4 student groups were taught both methods, so no bias would exist. On this slide, the information provided is aimed at proving that arts integrated learning is better for retention on a subject matter. As you can see, in regards to the basic reading level students, arts integration was much more effective than the controlled lesson. For the advanced reader level students, they scored 0.5% lower using the arts integrated method versus the controlled method. What this study found out is that arts integration does nothing for improving initial learning, but it does do well in improving retention of the subject for the average and lower level reading students. It was thought that their retention was at a higher percentage because it used less reading and writing skills, something that they would be struggling more with in comparison to the advanced reading proficiency learners. Though the teachers weren't given specific information on the study, it seems they were more interested in the AI model in comparisons to the conventional way, which may have skewed the percentages in favor of the arts integrated model. The data provided is in favor of the arts integrated method, however, and it is still seen as a success, though as mentioned before, the numbers may slightly be skewed due to teacher influence. The second study involving the arts in the schools was conducted by Diana Kahalik, in which she did a study on mindfulness and the effects and benefits, if any, on the feasibility of the arts in the classroom, looking to see if the arts benefit in some way children's ability to relieve human suffering, to increase compassion and loving kindness among its practitioners, and help individuals attain the peace of enlightenment. This study is investigating the effects of a holistic arts-based group program for the development of resilience in children in need and was adapted by Kahalik for the January 2011 edition of the Child Youth Care Forum. The participants for over 3.5 years for this study were 50 children aged 8 to 15 with a median age of 10. The requirements were a need of self-esteem improvement, a willingness to attend, and an ability to function as a group, as assessed by the child's helping practitioner. 17 groups were created, with 11 of these groups being female, all within the ages of 8 and 15. 6 male groups with ages between 8 and 12, and a combined group of 8 girls and 4 boys. On average, there were 4 children per group. The children involved with the study were involved with child protection and/or children's mental health services. Ethnicity was not included because of a similar shared ethnicity in the community. In the procedure for this study, Kahalik used mindfulness-based group methods aimed to teach children different skills, such as paying attention, using their imagination, and identifying and exploring their feelings through their thoughts and behaviors. There were 12 two-hour group sessions, with taking part in a closing activity playing an important part. The study took place at Kahalik's University, which was well equipped with video-based recording software and hardware, as well as the materials needed for the arts-based group work. Kahalik used exercises to build the foundation of skills such as listening and paying attention. The discussion focused on considering how well our minds can work when our thoughts and feelings are all swirling around and moving quickly compared to when they are calm and focused. The results of the study was seen as fun by the participants. The fun, as described by them, were grouped into 3 categories: arts-based activities and games, learning to use imagination, and being encouraged to engage in a variety of activities. Many of the participants in the study were marginalized as being in need, and the study was seen as a normalizing event for them, which likely contributed to the success. The students, though having fun, developed a self-awareness to feel better about themselves and allowed them to learn emotional regulation and healthy expression of feeling. Fun was considered critically important to the children's development and the overall success of the study.
This is an example of how you could integrate arts into a literacy lesson. Each student creates a drawing of a road, and they have to write a story explaining what happens along the way. The students get to illustrate their own writing and be creative in the process.
Now that we have explored the benefits of integrating arts into the classroom, I'm going to go into the details of how we as teachers can implement the arts into our classroom. According to the article Arts Integration and Infusion Framework, there are 5 roles that are recommended for teachers to be or to become in order to assure that the arts will in fact make a difference in the students' lives. The first role that a teacher must take is becoming an artist. The second role that a teacher takes is becoming a researcher. The third role that a teacher takes is a designer. The fourth role is a teacher as a co-constructor. And the fifth and last role is a teacher as an advocate. The teacher as an artist.
In this role, the teacher needs to see themselves as an artist in order to see the possibility in themselves and to realize their creative capacities. The teacher needs to find the confidence to become more artistic. With the role, it is recommended that the teacher collaborates with other colleagues and community artists. The transformation will begin from teacher to artist when the teacher embraces the belief that all humans are creative. The authors of this article recognize this as the most challenging yet most rewarding development out of the 5. The next role is the teacher as a researcher. In this role, the teacher will be developing an artist's attention to the sensory aspects of this world. It creates keen observation skills for looking and listening in order to document a range of children's qualities and interactions. Teacher researchers feel a sense of purpose, responsibility, and perseverance to get to know their learners as well as their families. A systematic collection of data sources allows for the opportunity to share their findings with colleagues and families in a way that demonstrates the teacher's wonder and care about learning and who the child is becoming. This allows for more useful feedback, examining learning from diverse perspectives, and to document the student's success. The next role we're going to look at is the teacher as a designer. This role helps teachers to look at time and space in different ways. Their awareness of space, time, color, light, sound, and movement, and how to engage learners becomes increasingly more apparent. With the teacher's awareness increasing, it also increases the student's sense of belonging, competence, and meaning-making. This next role is the teacher as a co-constructor. A teacher that is a co-constructor creates opportunities to stretch and sustain shared thinking, knowledge, and skills with students, community artists, families, and co-teachers. The final role that a teacher needs to attain is the teacher as an advocate. This final role requires that the teacher is efficient in executing all of the previous roles. The teacher is able to articulate beliefs about the arts for teaching and learning. It empowers the teacher to be an advocate for the arts. On a final note, according to Hartle on page 297 of the article Arts in, Arts Integration and Infusion Framework, they say that the arts are important to individuals because engagement in the arts provides a zone of proximal development, a collective form of working together, and that can move the development and learning to higher and deeper levels.
Thanks for watching and listening.